Ethan Klein has just returned from his holiday break, and he returned with a vengeance for two people specifically. And you can really see it if you look at the timestamps on this video. You see here he has in the first hour, he's like 17 or 18 different topics. Then here starts the topic about the first person, and that ends there, just shy of 2 hours in. And then the next one is all response to the other person, and that goes until the end there, like 2+ hours. So he really had a lot to say about these people specifically. And I thought I've only listened to a little bit of this one, but I thought it was pretty entertaining because Ethan was going harder than I expected him to. I don't listen to a whole bunch of H3 podcasts, but I thought he was being more of a progressive, nice guy. I know everybody hates him for the Israel-Palestine stuff, but he was more biting than I had expected.
It's getting good out there.
I'm
Well, with all
excited
that
to see
being
what
said,
happens.
let's get into this first hater award. Aubrey.
Oh boy.
Now, if you don't remember Aubrey, let me refresh you. He is a little person, an activist, and there was a time during Jimmy Lee's arc on this show where he was using the M word, which is really derogatory for little people, and we were trying to break through.
He's saying the M word, as in midget, not the N word.
To him that he should not use that language anymore. Aubrey was a fan of the show at the time, and he wrote in wanting to participate in educating Jimmy Lee. Let's start by showing you the video he put out, and then we'll go over everything else. Yeah.
So there was a podcast that I was on one time, and it was a horrible experience, and it's why I've never.
This is his mortal enemy. One of two mortal enemies when he returns from break. And in this video specifically, in the videos not so much, but in this video, to me, this guy looks like a black dwarf Anthony Fantano. He has similar glasses, and with this quality of video and this distance from it, you can kind of pretend that he looks like Anthony Fantano in the face a little bit more, but he has a similarly stocky build and the haircut here. I mean, he really is black than he dwarf Tano right here.
We're going to go on another podcast again, and no, I will not be naming the podcast, even though some of you definitely know what I'm talking about. But they had a.
Yeah, it's so dumb. I'm not going to name the podcast, but you guys know who it is. It's just why pretend like we're not going to say who we're talking about? You're going to give, you're giving the hints that people will know who you're talking about. Just lame.
Segment one time with the podcast owner's dad and some comedian who, mind you, the same podcast is now accusing of essay years later. But
What is that? Did I do the essay? Like, what's the point of saying that? He was on my show a few years ago, so then I facilitate, like, what the fuck? Anyway, from the beginning, he's trying to bitch out and be like, I'm not going to say the show, so they can't respond to me. It's like, everybody knows exactly what you're talking about, dude. Okay? Let's stop doing some bullshit, cowardly shit like that, okay? Everybody knows you're talking about us, so let's just say what you want and stop being a baby. Like, go ahead.
Yeah, it's just especially when you're saying things that will give it away anyway. As if I sat here and was like, there is some angry fat individual who his bank account got hacked and he lost $600 and was stressed about making rent. I'm not going to name any names. Instead of just saying it's D-Sigs, obviously it's D-Sigs that I'm talking about.
the comedian one day was talking in a bit about how he has a phobia of little people. And they were going on and on about a lot of miseducation around dwarfism in general. So I was like, oh my God, this is the perfect time to educate people. We love a good educational moment, especially as a viewer at the time, with dwarfism. So I wrote on their subreddit, I was like, hey, I'm a filmmaker and educator. I would love to come on and educate you guys and talk about the dwarfism community and specifically the phobia of little people, since I know that's such a gray area for a lot of people. So the Post blew up. All the fans of the show were like, we would love to see Aubrey on the show. They reached out, and then next thing you know, I'm in the waiting room the next episode to talk to the comedian and the podcast owner's dad. And I thought this was going to be an educational little moment, but I was coming on to be a bit. They essentially had, leading up to my appearance, a whole compilation.
That's an outright malicious lie. That's provable. I don't know why he's doing this. It's disgusting, especially considering like his whole point is like activism. And I feel like it was actually like a wholesome, good moment. And I mean, in terms of like teaching people about like a prejudice against little people, that was, and to imply that that wasn't the intention and that it was to bring him on and humiliate him or something is just a malicious outright lie that I will prove to you. But I'm going to continue watching his video, and then I'll show you everything we've got.
Of
From what I saw, he has some pretty serious receipts on this guy. That's why I was more interested in this one than the Micah's rhetoric. Because I mean, there's not receipts that show lies or anything like that the way there are with this.
this guy, all the times that he said publicly on the internet that he's afraid of little people, and just a lot of derogatory jokes about little people. And then they were like, and drum roll, we have a little person to surprise you. And they brought me in with basically no warning.
Why?
I mean, no warning.
Why would you say that?
That's crazy.
When it's so... There's so many receipts, dude. Like, what are you doing?
You guys don't
This
remember?
is so embarrassing.
You don't remember us dragging him in?
What does he mean, no warning? Like,
I don't know.
Like we had him blindfolded and we walked him in?
The warning existed. It was in writing.
We're going to show you guys. You're going to laugh when you see all this.
What are you doing?
The part that pisses me off, though, is like, it's such a transparent attempt to cash in on all the people that hate me on TikTok. Like, it's so fucking transparent, bro, that it's pathetic. It's honestly pathetic, man. And so, you know, what I said at the time when I made a story about this is like, this shit, you know, this shit's not paying out anymore. I'm not going to sit here and let you lie about me. Like, fuck you, dude.
It's so unfortunate because his TikTok is so informational, and he seems to be actually wanting to spread the word. But doing something like this, such a move just to get views, it goes against his whole like thing about education.
He really didn't think about to respond because like he must have known that we have like can disprove literally everything he said.
Yeah, it makes me.
I do think a lot of smaller creators think a creator with millions of subscribers won't respond to them talking ish, but I enjoy what they do, where they just go back with this exact same energy, and the smaller creators like, how could this happen? All I did was the exact same thing to them.
It makes me really sad just because like we were always on Aubrey's team.
Yeah.
Like we were not on Jimmy.
Oh, look at that. They actually still have the first Bo Black's plushie around. I think Bo Black's officially failed his second run now. I'm pretty sure time has passed.
His team. You were never.
So nobody will be getting the blue Blobies with the male monkey. That is messed up. That is so sad for all 40 people pre-ordered or whatever it was.
Used as a bit, and it does hurt that like you would even say that or think that like none of us
It's
here.
like Ethan said, he's cashing in.
He made this cynically to cash in, and it just goes to show you the anti-Ethan like hate, how fucking it's resonating on some of the social medias, Twitter and TikTok, because like they'll convince themselves pretty much of anything. Like, oh yeah, of course Ethan brought out a little person to humiliate him for no reason, like a sideshow or some shit. You know, fuck you, bro.
Yeah, and it's like the people seeing this, they're not going to go watch the segment. They're just going to take his word
Why
for
should
it.
they not believe him?
Yeah.
Who would, you know, yeah.
And when looking through the Reddit about things about him and like putting all the pieces together this morning, like I've seen multiple things of our viewers sharing. It's like, Aubrey's doing this, let's go support him. And like that, our viewers have always been so supportive, and like we've come back to it, like brought up donations he's been promoting. And like, I don't know what would lead you to do this. It's very...
It does come across as just he's recognizing people very much are not a fan of H3 right now. He's very unpopular. He, for a while, was courting the lefties and the progressives, but now he's at war with Hassan and his whole Israel-Palestine thing, which the energy people have for that is crazy. I just refuse to have an opinion on it as if I know anything about it. It is just so insane the way people demand you have an opinion on it, every time I do a video on H3? No, I don't care. I'm not looking into it. It's war. How lame. Why do I want to look into a war where people are dying and stuff? Ish.
Very disappointing.
Just cynical.
yeah, very cynical.
Clout,
straight up.
clout chasing. That's
What
it.
makes me exceptionally sad is that like I think it's been a couple years, like we followed each other on Instagram. We said happy birthday. Like I thought, like the fact that he thought I wasn't on his team and like thought he was a bit, like that makes me so sad.
I think
He
that's a
didn't.
clear
That's
example.
the thing. He's lying.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
think that.
That-
And it's
that's-
obvious. He knew our intentions. He knew who we are. And he's here fucking lying intentionally just for clout. That's it. And
Literally a Doolittle. Same exact thing.
yeah, it's Jake Doolittle part 2 up in this bitch. And like I said, wait till you see the receipts. We're talking a lot. I haven't shown you guys anything. So let me just let him finish his video and then we'll get to the good.
Oh, I didn't even realize this is a Teddy Fresh. You probably will not be able to see once this goes through YouTube again, but there's a teddy bear outline on there. Wait, what is the point of this? Oh, I guess there are 2 different plaid patterns, but this looks like a regular plaid shirt with a logo you can barely see. Why is that something Teddy Fresh sells? What the heck?
And
Maybe they've always done that. I don't know. It just looks like such a regular shirt that anybody in the Midwest would be wearing, like to work.
the whole bit was basically just about
But the title is, I'm really confused by this call-up post because everybody was like, I saw this TikTok today by a disability educator I follow and really respect, and it sounded like they were talking about this episode from 2 years ago. I went back and rewatched the whole segment, and I feel like it was a really enlightening and respectful conversation. Aubrey was listening in the whole conversation and was not brought in by surprise. The crew seemed to be respectful and open-minded for the most part. I don't know. I'm confused. Does anyone think this might be a different podcast? Yeah, unfortunately,
Unfortunately, no.
that's how fucked up it is that like you would think it must be a different podcast. What a fucking ass.
having a little person go against 2 guys who were just talking about how little people, what are they going to do? Kick you in the shins? And then brought me in. And it just really solidifies the fact that, 1, I'm a class act. Because y'all, I wanted to cuss them out. But I do believe the digital footprint.
You are a fucking piece of shit. Class act. You're the absolute.
You're the opposite of a
You are
class
a
act. You have
pathetic
0 class.
loser. And
What
just
the
because
fuck?
like I'm a big account and I'm like a successful YouTuber or whatever the fuck you want to say, doesn't mean that I get to lay down and let people fucking shit all over me like that. Fuck you, dude. You're not a class act.
Did you say get to lay down?
Because like
Fuck.
I'm a big account and I'm like a successful YouTuber or whatever the fuck you want to say, doesn't mean that I get to lay down and let people fucking shit all over me like that.
You should be using have there, Ethan. Otherwise, it seems like you kind of would be into it almost. Right?
Fuck you, dude. You're not a class act. You're a piece of shit.
And mind you, this was
This is what I was talking about. I did not expect him to be this angry at the little man.
in front of like 50,000 people watching live. And because what you're not going to do is pretend like just because I have dwarfism that you can suddenly start making jokes as if I'm not a grown man who pays taxes and like has a
What
life.
you're not gonna do is sit here and fucking lie about me on TikTok, bitch. Fuck you.
Shame on you, weirdo. But 2, again, I'm an educator. I do believe in trying my best.
Oh, I was gonna say before too. I forgot. It's insane for him to say in this that to call himself a class act. Right. I mean, how the gall, unironically, the gall.
And I
I'm about to
did
give
what
you
I
an
could.
education on talking shit.
Yeah.
About to find out. You know what I
Got a
mean?
PhD.
You gotta fucking learn something here, Aubrey. Get your shit together, you fucking asshole. What a dickhead.
They weren't willing to
Also, the way he's so smarmy and so
Yeah.
condescending, like
Yeah.
it was so obvious. You know what I mean? Fuck that.
listen. They weren't wanting to listen. The whole crew was just laughing the whole time. And
he's
I
going
really,
after
That
you
was
guys.
so
Sir.
that
He's-
hurts.
Yeah.
That like hurts to hear.
Like-
No, we weren't.
Ugh,
Maybe
what are you
laughing at
doing?
the eye, like how horrible Jimmy is, but we would never laugh at you.
The guy was a fan of the show. He knows exactly
Yeah. I
know.
who Jimmy is, what the context was, what he was there doing.
And like, here's the thing that makes me especially sad is it certainly is possible that what Jimmy said on that call hurt Aubrey. Jimmy, that was the point of the conversation. Aubrey asked to.
To educate him. Yeah. I
That
mean,
was his
you
point.
engaged
That
with
was his
it.
idea.
Yeah, it's just so if something that Jimmy said did stick with Aubrey and hurt Aubrey, I'm sorry. However, you're saying that we were all laughing at you and we made you a bit, which is not true.
Also,
It's provably not true.
It's provably
Again,
not true.
I don't want.
It's pretty- pretty wild move to do that too, because usually what people will do when they say they had a bad experience with a YouTube podcast host or whatever, they'll say, you know, the crew is great, the crew are all sweethearts, I love the crew, but such and such, so and so. But not Aubrey. He's like, no, the crew, they're awful too. They were all laughing at pointing and laughing, going, different, different, different.
I want it to seem like we're telling like, hey, no, you're wrong. It wasn't offensive. Your perception's wrong. No, it's not a perception thing. Just wait. This guy is fucking lying.
You'll see. It's hilarious.
He also said we surprised him with this live in front of 50,000 people. This was not a live episode. This was a pre-recorded episode.
Yo, what the hell?
And so, and if you were upset, we could have cut it. You know what I mean? Like there was a long opportunity to do so.
Wait, he just straight up lied about it being live?
I think he might be. So he came on the show twice. There was this, and then because of the way that it went with Jimmy, where Jimmy and your dad were just not having the breakthrough that we were looking for, we decided to have him on again with just him and just talk to him about his movie and his activism and everything. And that was just a straightforward conversation with him. That one was live. But yeah, it's possible he was just confusing the two. I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. That's possible. Sure.
It was like an out-of-body experience. I definitely disassociated for maybe 30 seconds because I was like, it's very strange watching something that you consumed for so long and then finally being involved in that.
I feel bad for people who actually dissociate. Because, I mean, man, people just throw this around willy-nilly. I remember Destiny would say that she did that. I heard her say that she did that multiple times. It's like, look, maybe you do. But just the idea that a conversation or a podcast, somebody saying something mean to you, makes you dissociate. I don't know about that. You know, maybe if you're a kid and it's your parents doing it to you or something, but as an adult,
circle and then just realizing you're there to be a joke. Very weird thing. And it really, now I'm so conscious of what I say yes to and the things that I say and participate in. And the only podcast I listen to now, because I ain't listening to that anymore, is Do We Know Them? Because
you guys know how annoying that guy Ethan likes killing Palestinian babies. Can I get some wayos in chat? I think a part of this too is that like people were like, weren't you on the H3 show? Because people are so fucking pathetic.
Yeah, right. Potentially.
How it's not, get the lid on there, Ethan. You need to figure this out. It's far too distracting for me to see you fail at this. Or you had it, and you knocked.
And he's like, no, they were actually mean to me, and they hate little people, and yeah. Who's watching that show? Not me.
And this is where it becomes worse, in my opinion.
He's like, I was a fan of that show for years, but all of a sudden now, everything he's done before I started watching is too offensive for me.
Yeah.
That's a through line you see of all these new hater videos. We're like, actually, Ethan's the most offensive person in the world, and I've been a fan of theirs for 5 years, and everything that I'm criticizing him for happened before I started watching.
I may have laughed at the time, but now I'm upset.
I don't remember. I can't prove the laughter.
Because we love the girlies, and one of them actually has a child with a disability and talks so openly and respectfully about that. And then also I listen to my own podcast because I love the sound of my own voice.
Yeah,
sorry,
clearly.
Some of us have soothing, calming voices that's enjoyable to listen to.
No.
Soothing, calming voice. Yeah, hard disagree. Not that his voice is awful or anything. It's pretty average. A little bit below average if we're talking about calming, pleasant. You know, you're at 45%.
Not in this case.
Was this whole thing a plug for his own podcast?
I mean, yeah, it's all self-serving, just an outright lie.
Yeah.
But don't worry about me, though. I'm doing better things. At the time, I had just started working on my documentary, and I was also told him that I would love to talk to people about that and why I was making a documentary about little people that actually hired little people behind the camera and in front of the camera in the first place, you know, because of issues like us being constantly used as like I'm scared of little people and the experiences that we have. But that fundraiser, it took a long time to reach our goal, but we finally did a couple months ago. And
I think the movie Willow has a bunch of little people in it. So the main little guy has, well, I think maybe multiple of them have magic powers, but there's that one definitely freaked me out. And there's also a scene where a bunch of people get turned into pigs in that, and the the animation. It's a pretty old movie, but the effects for it were pretty disturbing. They looked very gross. So I was not a huge fan of Little People shortly after seeing the movie Willow, but otherwise they're all right.
The summer, which is really exciting, and also I'm still hot, so, and the podcast owner now is crashing out on the internet publicly, so.
And that detail is important. Why? You know what I mean? Like, it's so obvious, bro. I'm crashing out. Like, what the fuck? What does that have to do with me? This story, apparently. I am about to crash out. That's true. I'm about to fucking crash land on your fucking reputation, dude, because you're a liar. Here, let me see.
Nailed that.
Is it? Did he erase it, or?
That's what I'm wondering.
Because I know.
I'm looking for
I think he probably panicked when I responded. I responded on
Jake Doolittle style.
Instagram Live when I saw this, and
Instagram story
or Instagram story. Yeah. Do we have that?
Yeah. One sec.
Here, yeah, I got it. So when I saw this,
Oh yeah, as I say earlier, I pulled these up. It's crazy how much better Ethan looks now than not that long ago. I think it was on Bobby Lee's podcast. He looks I mean, pretty wide there. That's a wide guy. And here, look at the difference in his face. That's crazy. That was August 2023, where he was looking at like this one. I mean, that just looks. I mean, that makes me a little bit out of breath. Makes my chest feel heavy.
Originally, I was like, dude, what the fuck, man? I said,
oh, sorry, I found it. I found the original one, 1.3 million.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Look how easy it is to defame me. And this is actual defamation. This is real. Look, 170,000 likes. But how many views does he usually get? Let's take a look here. Let's take a look at his latest videos. 15,000, 18,000, 18,000. Yeah, I understand why you fucking came for me, you asshole. You douchebag, liar. I should sue fucking people like this.
This account is sadly at risk.
It's like, bro, you can't talk. You can't say anything you want about people. You know, don't.
I was watching a little bit of a Adam McIntyre video, and it sounds like Ethan is suing the H3 Snark Redditors or something after them in some sort of legal aspect for if they're doing clips of his paid show. I think he has a paywall show that he also does, and I think he's going with the rule now, if you clip it at all, that's not allowed. I could be wrong on that. I didn't finish the Adam McIntyre video. I just watched a little bit of it, but that sounds like that's what's going on from what I gathered.
Don't lie. That's it. So anyway, of course, he cleaned up good. He got a ton of views, ton of likes, tons of sympathy for something that didn't happen. And I continue to get defamed all over the internet. Here's what I said. I said, enough with these weak-ass call-outs trying to cash out on H3 hate. This shit is not paying out anymore. Fuck this dude. We have insane amount of receipts to disprove everything. I see you trying to erase shit too. Don't worry, we have it all saved. He was trying to erase receipts right after I called him out. Why the fuck would you even make this video? Jake Doolittle loves self-owning. Enjoy the new year, dipshit. Yeah. We had just went on break, so I was like, enjoy the time between now and then.
He's been stressing all week.
Good. He should be stressed because he's a fucking liar. He should erase that video and apologize.
Definitely.
So he doesn't get sued.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see you.
I can see you. Man, this dude is going to look so fucking dumb when we're back. So obvious with the comment. He's scraping for any clout he can get from this new wave of H3 hate. And
I wonder if it actually be enough for, because I think it's actual malice that you need with celebrities in order to do defamation. I mean, the way that this dude is talking, and they have receipts that just completely say otherwise. Maybe technically, I still think, suing, that's probably a bit much, but.
They always start talking shit the minute I'm on break too. Just a coincidence, literally. So anyway, let's get into the receipts.
I love it.
What the heck's going on? Why has nobody picked the garbage up out of the shot yet? What the heck? You know how many crew members you got? And the garbage sits there on the desk for entire minutes?
This part.
Genuinely, I think the only thing that could prevent me from considering legal action, he needs to make a TikTok apologizing and admitting he lied. on his TikTok. You have to say, I lied about you.
So he's very serious about it.
I love this part.
Genuinely, I think the only thing that could prevent me from considering legal action, he needs to make a TikTok apologizing and admitting he lied. On his TikTok, you have to say, I lied about you.
So it seems like he's got his mind set on suing unless he gets the apology retraction video. Dang.
Because
he's not messing around at all. Is this new season? I think this might have been a new season. I don't know if they do one every year or whatever, but season whatever it is, shaping up to be a little angrier than last season, maybe.
Let's get to the receipts, you guys. All right.
Keep saying that.
Here's the original post. Let's go through this. Of him saying he wanted to call in. Let's take a look. Ethan, I'm an actor with dwarfism. I'm currently making a documentary comedy special about disability hate group on YouTube that's been cyberbullying me for over a year. I would love to call in tomorrow during the Tippy Toast segment and chat about Jimmy's little people phobia and dwarfism representation. The context, by the way, was that we were talking about how fucked up of a movie Tiptoes is. So it wasn't even like with zero context.
We were planning on watching it, which ended up failing miserably because we got copyright struck immediately.
I don't know what I thought about that idea, but here is one of his comments saying he wants to speak with Jimmy. His idea. He says, this
is the best ever.
He actually writes it out like he's writing a contract.
Bro, write a contract in a Reddit reply, yeah.
I wonder if this is permissible evidence.
I mean, as close as it could be, I feel like.
Aubrey Smalls, volunteered to spend a day with Jimmy and change his mind about the dwarfism community. Maybe I can even get him to donate to our movie that has multiple dwarves in it. Thank you for sharing this. Isn't it amazing the impact representation can have on people's lives, outlooks, and how they treat others? Many people I meet admit they have zero knowledge on people with dwarfism, and that's not their fault. Over 100,000 people are born with dwarfism every year. To average height people, but all we have is what? Munchkins, Oompa Loompas, Peter Dinklage in Game of Thrones.
Is that how most of them, they're born to average height people? So can a dwarf have a baby that ends up being average height? I mean, I would think not, but I don't know. I didn't know it worked like that.
Trying to give people more reference when they think of little people in Hollywood. Since Hollywood is still putting us in the Dwarf Villager 1 category, I decided to write our own movie.
And 100,000 on a year. That's not crazy compared to 7 billion, but that seems like more than I would have thought. Because I feel like I'd never seen out and about in real life. 100,000 a year. But maybe they're all or mostly in China and India.
While telling a true story about my experience with online harassment due to my dwarfism. I, Aubrey Smalls, volunteer. But okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You know what I mean? Here is an email exchange that we had with him. This is when stuff that is not public, but is now public. Now, this is you talking to him, right, Dan?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Dan says, hi there. We saw your post about potentially calling into the podcast during the Tiptoes stream to discuss dwarfism representation in Jimmy Lee. Now, unfortunately, the Tiptoes live stream didn't exactly pan out as expected, but we wanted to reach out for another option. Tomorrow, we're filming an episode with Ethan's dad and Jimmy Lee in an old couple sort of situation, and we'll need to confront Jimmy again. Notice the word confront about his problematic jokes to see if we can get through. It's cut off there, but I'm assuming to him.
Yeah.
The clips we want to ask him about is the dwarfism jokes from the previous appearance of his. We tell him specifically what we're...
Super specific about what we were doing. Totally transparent.
Like Jimmy had said...
Fully aware.
I forget what he said, but it was something really super offensive to little people. And we had talked about it. We had acknowledged it. And we had told him specifically what it was. Now, what we wanted to ask, would you be interested in calling in to discuss with him why his joke might be offensive? We'll totally be there to back you up during the conversation because he has to chill out a bit. Haha. If you're not comfortable with this, we totally understand. Another option would be just send in a video message and we can play it for him during the recording. Would you be interested in either of those options? We're taping tomorrow around 12 p.m. Let me know. Thanks so much for reading and looking forward to hearing from you. So again, we gave him not only the option, we told him exactly what was going to happen.
Yeah.
He was going to come in, he was going to confront Jimmy Lee on this specific joke.
That there would be a compilation of his previous jokes and then that we would confront him about it, which is exactly what he cited as being like, him not being in the loop.
We blindsided him.
That we blindsided him.
And then we even gave him the option, like, hey, if this sounds like too, dicey,
if you don't want to do that, here's an alternative option. And then, of course, there's also the option of if you're not comfortable doing it, you don't have to do it at all.
Yeah, because our intentions were good. We wanted him to feel comfortable and have a wholesome experience where he came out looking and feeling good about it.
Yeah.
And that is what happened.
Yeah. We also were thrilled to platform.
They did see they're pretty accommodating. They gave him a bunch of options, and it was very low pressure. Pretty different retaliate from Aubrey's.
An educational creator who could teach Jimmy.
It was a win-win-win.
We were thrilled.
So we thought.
He responds, hi, hope you're doing well. Thanks for response. I'll be totally down to call into the chat with them, and I'm available tomorrow at 12 p.m. PST. Perfect. Thank you so much. I will shoot you an email tomorrow around 11, and we can set up a Zoom test, and then we'll be looking forward to chatting on the show. Thanks, Aubrey. Talk soon. Sounds great. Continuing on. You sent him a thank you?
Yes, so this is afterwards.
After the show, Dan sent him a thank you.
After the recording. Hadn't aired yet. Keep in mind, this is just we
was not
recorded
live.
it. This was not live.
Tank.
Yep.
Hi, Aubrey. Thank you for calling in. That got a little spicy, and we appreciate you trying your best to educate and inform using the platform. Not sure how it will resonate with Jimmy's long term, but we definitely going to debrief with him and talk it out.
Jimmy doesn't seem too keen on learning stuff. He has just an outdated to his content, and he just refuses to update it and do stuff that could be more successful. And who was it? He pissed off the guy that did the Boogie documentary that got millions of views. Mike Klump. That guy did a documentary on Boogie that got millions of views, and then he did a bunch of footage of Jimmy and did a bunch of interviews and stuff for it, and was working on editing and stuff. It's a long process for him because he makes his stuff look really nice. It's not like average YouTube documentary quality. It's legit, and it was taking too long, according to Jimmy. So he goes and hires another guy to film all of the interviews again and film Jimmy's footage again and make their own documentary with the same narrative and the same slant to the interviews and stuff. There's a little bit more. They did, a little bit more stuff according to Jimmy's taste that Mike was not going to do. But yeah, he basically just ruined the whole documentary for Mike. And then Jimmy finds out live that documentary that Mike made got millions of views, and he's like, "Oh shoot! Well, you'll have to make the documentary too." And Mike's just like, "No, you ruined it, man. Like, I'm not mad at you, but you ruined it." Which I feel like, how would you not be mad? I get if you don't want to say you're mad, but I feel like there's no way you're not at least a little bit mad about spending all that time and probably a decent amount of money getting footage for a documentary, and then it's just completely ruined by some guy because he can't wait for it to come out.
Hopefully it wasn't too much for you. They're more resistant than expected. We will keep you posted on when it will come out.
All of that to say, I think Jimmy's beyond saving. This obviously the story I just told was after this, but there's no saving that guy.
Thanks again, and let me know if you have any questions. Aubrey said, thanks for having me. Such an honor to chat, even though I know things got awkward for everybody. I would honestly love to chat about calling back in to talk about what the Reddit post was actually about. I was really inspired by the outpouring of support from fellow H3 listeners who are rooting for a positive discussion on dwarfism, the dwarfism representation outside of Jimmy's comments. I'm usually not so serious, and neither is the project I'm making. It's more surrealistic, artistic, educational content than anything, haha. I know we didn't have a chance to do that today, but I've seen the positive impact H3 has had in the YouTube atmosphere, and I would love to chat about the chance to move the to move the ball forward. I lost my spot because it zoomed in.
Move the ball forward for the community. I know.
Oh, there you go.
I know.
And plus, I know and love to. Let me read that again. To push the ball forward for the community, I know and love. Plus, Ethan the other night said, disabled people are heroes, and I agree. There are so many iconic people with dwarfism out there that your listeners seem to be down to talk more about. So I wanted to see what your thoughts were on this. Let me know what you think.
So he's on the show, and afterwards he's saying, "Yeah, I'd love to come back for seconds." So from here, it must Really bad. It must get really bad from here.
He seems to like me.
Yeah.
What does he have in his signature? DearAverageHeightPeople.com. Yeah, I don't know about that. I could be wrong, but just that name alone kind of seems condescending. I get the impression that it would be condescending there. Maybe what I've seen from this guy is tainting that a little bit too, but yeah, I don't know about that website name.
He seems to respect me at this time. For he's, interesting. Now I'm crashing out. He's getting his revenge on me because I'm crashing out. We continue. Dan responds to him.
Yeah.
We would love to have you call back in. We are editing the episode together for next week as we have a guest tomorrow, so it'll likely be out next Friday. And then once it's out, we would love to debrief and talk more about your post and project. Once our editor finalizes it and we lock in the date, I'll be sure to let you know ASAP. You're the best. Talk soon. Hi, Aubrey. I know it's about a bit last minute, but is there any chance you'd be available to call in today? We're currently live and would love to hear from you. I would love to. I'm watching now. Oh, so
it looks like Aubrey didn't even have to follow up. They really meant it when they're like, yeah, we'd like to get you back on.
Sounds like a big fan.
Uh-huh.
Thank you guys for.
Oh yeah, and he says I'm watching right now, and they reach out to him. Oh yeah, it's probably like exposure therapy to watch for his therapist, right? In order to get over the trauma of being on this show, you need to keep watching it.
Making it happen and being so cool. You guys rock. Please let everyone know how thankful I am. He said after the show. Dan said, appreciate you, Aubrey. So does our audience. They were so thrilled with your call. That was great. And we're all thankful for the insight you provided. Best wishes and good luck on your project. That sounds like a horrible fucking experience you had.
Yeah, awful, huh?
We abused him,
completely blindsided. We made it, and what a joke we made out of him. Oh my God!
He also made a public Reddit post, which unfortunately I was not able to screenshot before he deleted it, and I couldn't find a backup.
Oh, I thought we had it.
It was the same general sentiment. It was a public thank you so much for having me on, and thanking the community for all the support and everything. It was just all good vibes. It was just nothing but positive vibes about the whole thing. So
here he is calling in during the episode.
Well, that just shows what bullies you all are. That you thought he was having a good time, where you were berating and bullying him the whole time, putting him down.
Episode to debrief.
All right. Well, we have Aubrey on the phone.
We do.
Thank you. So that we'll just say hi to Aubrey, thank him for his time, and
I'm bringing him in right now.
Honor him.
I think I just included this to just demonstrate
going into
that
a pit of
he was
vipers
on a second time, like we said. Hey.
Oh, hello. Is this live already?
It sure is.
Hi, we'll go live.
Look at this comment from the person with the Palestinian flag, of course. That's enough for them to automatically hate me. I could not imagine being in that moment. I'm glad you had such grace because I do not. I'm glad you're here now and sharing your story as well. It felt, and then Aubrey says, it felt like the wind got knocked out of me. But nevertheless, we continue to thrive. Shut the fuck up, you liar. You liar. Can't you do?
Just a complete and utter changing of history is nuts. I don't understand. Like, I get the aspect of H3's stocks are down right now, so if you don't think you're going to get much out of having a positive relationship with them, why not do this? I understand that, but why saying provably false things? That just seems so foolhardy.
Do something like that you don't have to lie about to get clout. Do something that's actually fucking worthy of people liking it without lying about me, you dickhead, you bitch. Anyway.
Was it worth all the lie?
Hi, Aubrey. Well, first of all,
yeah, see, here he looks nothing like Anthony Fantano. Absolutely nothing. It's just that one video where he looks like Black Thinny Dwarf Tano.
You got the post?
Yeah.
Oh, we found it.
I sent a screenshot.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So Aubrey, here's the post Aubrey made. It's been deleted, but here's the
I have
title.
the full
Just the
post.
title.
Yeah, if you want
Oh,
it.
you have the full post?
Yeah, it
it's
has
a
a screenshot. I was just sending this to show
Oh, you
that
want the
it was
full
deleted.
post? So, by the way, isn't it funny that he came, he erased his account and the post right as the story was breaking? Wow, it's almost like he's intentionally lying. You're a fucking liar, dude. Oh, I'm so happy. You're so brave. I can't believe you sat across from that Nazi fascist.
Why the fuck you lying?
I'm not surprised he hates little people. You're so brave. Thank you for sharing the story with me. We love you, Aubrey.
Why you always lying?
By the way, next video, 20,000 views. Nobody gives a fuck. They come for the hate. They tell you how great you are, and then they move the fuck on because they don't care about you or anything you're about. They don't give a shit about dwarf activism. They don't care about any of the fucking shit that you're trying to spread. They just want to come there, hate on me for being like a Nazi, a fascist, and move the fuck on, dude. So that's what you got. You got a little clout for one day, and everybody moved on, dude. Here he said, shout out to the Dwamily. He's making a joke about him being a dwarf, Dwamily, I'm assuming.
Yeah, family.
Shout out to the Dwamily. It's Aubrey, the person with dwarfism, who called in. Thank you, Ethan, the crew, and everyone in the chat for being so welcoming and respectful. What? Wait, hold on. Whoa. He just said thank you for everyone for being so welcoming and respectful.
Weird.
And shout out to Cam for editing. If anybody wants to donate to our film, we have 16 days left. DearAverageHeightPeople.com. I don't remember, but I think we did raise a bit of money, actually, even for his project.
I'm sure he got donos from our audience.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking for the screenshot. Where is that? You sent it in the... Oh, here it is.
Yeah, he wrote everything
It
in
was
the
the same
title,
thing. It was just the title.
Yeah, that turnaround is just crazy. That is some nasty social climbing behavior there, you know?
The post.
And then this is his comment too at the top. Oh, no, this is him here. Shout out, dude. Love seeing your chat. Your kindness and patience is something more people should endeavor to have. Doing my part, one conversation at a time. Thank you for the kind words. Bro, what happened?
Class act.
Literally, I changed. You changed, motherfucker. What happened to you?
Yeah.
The dick. But we have more, of course. It's not even everything we've got. Boom! Anyway, just to show you the tone of the conversation.
Thank you so much for taking on the unfathomable task of trying to give sensitivity training to Jimmy Lee and my dad.
No, of course. It's honestly, anytime that people are willing to have a conversation, it's so important to have a conversation. And I'm honestly like shocked that you guys, allowed that to happen in the first place, because just like dwarfism representation, it's just really, really hard to not be taken as a joke. And I was really excited that the Reddit, community and my fellow foot soldiers were there.
Yeah.
Wanting to have that conversation. And me and my producer were just scrolling through the comments. And I think there's almost like 200 comments on that thread of me just going back and forth with people asking questions. People were like, oh, I know a person with dwarfism that I really miss that I grew up with. Oh, I, love what you're doing because I...
Keep going, buddy. Keep going, man. Tell us more about how much you loved the experience and how wholesome it was and how great it was and how you were talking with everybody in the community back and forth because it was just so fun and so great. Look at the chat, by the way. Aubrey, we love you.
I really unless he was convinced H3 was not going to respond, I don't see how he thought this was worth it. It's just a crazy... I don't see how he thought it was going to be worth it and pay off.
We love you, Aubrey. Aubrey has such good vibes. Such a king. We love you. Bro, who changed again? Fuck you.
I don't
Go
like
ahead, tell me more about how great we are.
People with dwarfism represented on screen. So with the Jimmy and Gary thing, I'm like, trust me, in comparison to actual like people on the internet who hate me right now and they're like actively doing everything they can to exploit people with dwarfism, this was like the easiest thing.
Okay, wow. But what was actually the most interesting is that
sounds like it was a...
I mean, some of these lies, it's almost over the top how strongly it opposes what he said in the TikTok video about his abuse from the H3 podcast.
The deep-seated trauma.
Yeah. This guy really thinks that he was going to get away with this shit. That's what I'm saying. We're not cashing these checks anymore. Fuck you, dude. Like, I'm glad you got 1 million views and like 170,000 likes from everybody that is like thinks I'm a fascist.
That you actually seem to break through to Jimmy Lee. Although, well, that's questionable because 2 days later he did write, "I fucking hate midgets" in his description. And apologies for using that word just to.
Oh, yeah, that pretty definitively says that that it didn't work then.
To retell what he wrote.
In the full version, I got caught slipping too. I was like midget this, midget that, because it's not. I want to move past the word as the most interesting things that people with dwarfism can.
By the way, I don't believe I've said that word. I don't think I've said that word on this show once since that. I mean, I don't think I've said this. That is not my vocabulary. I've completely phased out like anything that might be offensive to little people. You know. Yeah, give it up. Go ahead, Aubrey. You got through to me, buddy. We had such a great, wholesome conversation. I would never use that word. Never.
And offer, you know, and that was what I was ultimately trying to get across to Jimmy. I was like, when you do this word, buddy, and he even made a joke. He was like, oh, I have a few jokes, because I was like, let's go through some jokes, we can workshop it. And he was like, oh, you're something black and you can't, I bet you won't be playing basketball. And I'm like, there's literally people with dwarfism who they're not playing with LeBron James, but they're traveling around the world being paid thousands of dollars every week to be the global Globetrotters. His name's Manny. He's an incredible person. And
Aubrey, you did the impossible. King. We love you, Aubrey. Aubrey's a good man. Okay, I love you, Aubrey, forever. Aubrey is doing impossible things. There it is.
Killing Me, Smalls. That's his last name.
That's a reference to a movie or something?
Sandlot. I know it.
You ever heard of Killing Me, Smalls?
Well, that part must just be out of context, and the rest of it, they're berating and yelling at the guy and telling him how awful he is for being average height. Certainly.
I haven't heard it in a long time.
You have to say it like that.
Yeah, you're killing me. You're killed me, Smalls?
You're killing me, Smalls.
Oh, you're killing. Yeah, okay.
AB partakes in this, the knee on camera move. But that doesn't surprise me. He did a stream from the bath. Very strange. Very strange.
AB's back. We're so back.
Classic.
It's a well-known.
It's a well-known line.
I was with you. I got you. There it is.
Give it up. We're back.
Thank you. I'm just trying to tie my shoe here. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad. He's tying his shoe. All right. I'll allow the knee on the camera to tie your shoe.
Let's see. So we looked at the follow-up post. Here Aubrey responded to my story saying like, I'm not cashing these checks anymore. Fuck you for lying. And here he trying desperately to do a little damage control here. Let's see.
Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk about this.
6 minutes. I got to watch this guy try to explain why he fucking lied about me and kept the video up.
And so then we're moving on. I posted a video today.
Oh, I'm not moving on.
I don't think we have to watch all of it.
I think it's nice that you're ready to move on. I mean,
yeah, that seems convenient.
Yeah, good for you, man. Yeah. While I'm on break for 2 weeks.
About a podcast appearance that I was on 2 years ago, and although I did not disclose the name or the podcast that I was on, the viewer.
Shut up! Don't be a coward, dude. Everybody knew what you're talking about. Like, stop. Just stay.
He said in the video, some of you will probably know what podcast I'm talking about. Right off the bat, he said that. That's why it's so lame. Because they do that same exact thing for plausible deniability. And it's just lame.
Stand on your shit.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're going to talk shit, at least don't be a coward like this. It's so obvious. We know what you're talking about, dude. Everybody immediately knew.
I figured it out. So I wanted to address the comments and questions to the recent Instagram post that Ethan Klein made about me a few minutes ago. This is a deeply...
Already he's the victim. This man lied about me to fucking millions of people, farmed clout, and he's now already the victim before I even got an opportunity to respond.
Personal and important topic for me, so I wanted to take some time to set the record straight and share my side of the story. There's been a lot of conversation from Ethan.
Did you already do that?
Klein's fans about me.
Wait, what is the timing of this? Ethan just said he hadn't even responded before this video comes out. So he makes a video, and then maybe Ethan did that story. He called him out or whatever, the Instagram story. And now this guy's making another video saying I'm going to share my side of the story. What? What was that video the first time around?
Trying to clout chase by sharing this story, which again never mentioned his name, and that I'm trying to capitalize.
Bro, you're such a coward.
Ever, like, come on, dude.
You are such a coward. Did you really think that was gonna let you sidestep accountability? Like, are you that dumb? Maybe you are that dumb.
So is this video before or after you tried to remove the evidence of?
This is after he tried to remove the evidence.
Exactly.
Yeah, this is after.
Hilarious.
Off of Ethan's current situation. That couldn't be further from the truth, so I wanted to make this video to explain everything.
Then what? If that's couldn't be further from true, why did you comment about how I'm crashing out on the internet at the end? If that's not unrelated, then why the fuck did you even say that? You know?
In full context. In 2022, I was a listener of a podcast, and was one episode where they were talking about phobias and fears of little people and proper wording for people with dwarfism. At the time, they're using slurs that most of...
That is not true.
That's not...
We were absolutely not using slurs. That's so fucked up. Like, why are you...
The whole point is...
I would think it's talking about the word midget. because they call it the M word, so I'm assuming that's considered a slur by little people. Um, wait, that what? Why is he doubling down on it still while he's doing this?
And proper wording for people with dwarfism. At the time, they're using slurs that most of
That is not.
Oh, and that's what I say. I don't think most people know that the word midget is a slur, not appropriate. Didn't know about it until I watched a little bit of this stuff. I thought midget was just like, there's the same as a little person or dwarf. Or I didn't realize there was a slur status had been assigned to it. Yeah, most people know it's not and maybe there's some other slur that he's implying they use, but I don't know what that would be.
Not true.
That's not.
We were absolutely not using
lying.
slurs. That's so fucked up. Like, why? Are you...
The whole point is that this dude was, and we were confronting him about it, like on your side, and you know that. It's just.
He's such a
It's
liar.
like this children's games. We're like, oh, I never said it.
Yeah.
But like, we're all adults here. We know what's going on.
Stop hitting yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's just not true, man. You're fucking lying, dude. Fuck you.
of us know are not appropriate, but I figured it would be a great opportunity to see if I could get on the show to talk about the proper verbiage and to educate people on dwarfism. As someone with dwarfism myself who experiences in-person and online harassment just because of the fact that I have a disability, I was hoping that this appearance would help bridge the gap of understanding and start some meaningful dialogue.
We were too.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
I mean, that's what happened.
We're all on the same page.
Well, hold on.
That's what happened.
That's
what
a great
happened.
idea.
Yeah.
He, by his own admission and emphatically emphasized throughout the whole experience, that's what happened. You know.
Yeah.
You know, this community was so like graceful and accepting and supportive, and you know, it's so fucked, dude, that people just want to shit on me like this. Fuck you, man. Like,
yeah.
Doesn't this undermine everything you believe in? That you're just gonna come.
He really seems completely over it. He says, I don't know if it was in this or something else, but he says he's still working on that Hassan Duke video or whatever. So yeah, he's very much he's had it with people. This is his approach to the podcast, episode 1 of the return, and I feel like even though I hate Hassan and I feel like it's just a losing battle for Ethan to keep going with the Hassan war, but I don't know. Maybe a video will turn the tides. I'm sure. Just one more video, Ethan, and you'll turn everything around.
Come out and lie about someone who's genuinely supporting you. Like, what exactly is the point of you even doing activism when that's the level you're stooping to get attention?
Episode, I was subjected to ableist jokes and comments about little people that maybe.
By the way, in the email, clearly stated exactly what we were going to show and exactly why and exactly who it was about. And him being a fan of the show, he, of course, understood the context of everything. You're a liar.
Really uncomfortable. I kept my composure and smiled at the time. It was really hurtful, to be honest. I didn't even know how to process it in the moment.
You're lying, dude.
Except for doing what I do best, which is putting a smile on things and trying to spin it in a positive direction. Immediately afterwards, I emailed the crew asking if I could come back on the show during a live segment.
How's he going to spin that into like, it was such a terrible experience, I was disassociating, and I immediately emailed him to come back on the show. Like, even the people watching this are dumb as fuck who are buying this. Like, everybody's just dumb as fuck who's involved in this.
Yeah.
To talk about what I wanted to talk about in the first place, because I was worried that just the segment we had filmed would leave a bad taste in people's mouths and make them
hold on. Oh yeah,
assume that I was part of this joke that I was never keyed in on.
That is a
liar.
Being a lie, man.
Liar, dude.
You are a caught liar, Aubrey. Isn't that Drake's name?
Yeah, Aubrey.
Coincidence? Not trying to say anything. Just that they're both dickheads.
Yeah.
Both liars.
Yeah, they're both liars. That's true.
Certified liar.
This, bro, you actually need
liar boy.
You need to put out a TikTok, erase all your videos, and say I lied. That's what you need to do to make this right. And you should want to do that because it's the right thing. And you're supposed to be an activist, right? So it's time to activate your ass and to apologize and admit you lied. Because at this
Yeah, nailed it again. That was a really good one.
point, I mean, you know, legal recourse is certainly a path that I wouldn't. I'll fucking sue Aubrey. I don't give a shit. Like I genuinely don't care. I don't care if he's poor or he can't pay me back or he's small or he doesn't have the resources. I don't care. Oh, when I say small, I mean creator.
I got you.
Yeah, just want to clear that up. He's a small creator. People always say that.
Yeah, I got you. I mean,
I felt that no.
I get the sentiment, but I feel like
Nah.
I mean we are discrediting him pretty thoroughly here. Like
but
not enough.
The 1 million+ people that saw it on TikTok, you think they're going to see any of this?
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
And now I'm going to have to go on Twitter and be like, not only does Ethan want to kill Palestinian babies, he actually hates little people.
Yeah.
I saw a guy on TikTok talking about it. No, I don't give a shit. This is why you don't lie about people, especially in a professional setting when you can just hurt their reputation. These laws exist for a reason, okay? I've never expressed it. I've never pulled that lever, but I think it's about time to start.
You could pull a Taylor Swift, Gwyneth Paltrow sue for $1.
Yeah.
For the
I mean,
cause.
I'm not going to get money out of him. It's just to
the sentiment.
Yeah, it's just to fucking, stand up for myself. Fuck you, man. What an asshole.
He is an asshole.
Ugh.
And you should definitely delete the videos and apologize, like you said, at a minimum.
Like even without a lawsuit looming.
Yeah,
like that seems like the logical
that's just
thing to do.
obviously the right thing to do, man.
And it can't be like some bullshit. You have to say I lied about them. You actually have to say I lied. That's the thing. You have to take responsibility for this, bro. You don't get to weasel your way out of this. You have to say I lied. Admit it, bro.
So I was on the show again a few days later after the segment we had pre-filmed aired, and they played it again and then had me come on to talk about it. And I just stayed positive because I was hoping that if I was positive and I was focusing on the good, that people would forget about the segment, essentially. I was hoping that by focusing on kindness and grace and showing empathy.
He's acting as if it's a hidden segment that you can't go back and watch.
That would go farther and people would remember.
Even with, I guess maybe he thought that they wouldn't share the private emails, but with the just straight up lies that you're telling, I think you have to expect that the people you're lying about are gonna show the receipts. I mean, it's just so far away from what happened.
Me by that as opposed to what happened during that segment. Ethan and the crew talked on the show, that episode, the live one, about how they had to edit a lot of stuff down. So I hope that maybe one day they'll release the full videos.
What is it you want?
Nobody is saying that Jimmy Lee isn't an asshole about little people.
Yeah,
like, we're all on
was
the
it
same.
too offensive, or do you want us to put out like the unedited version that's going to get us like demonetized and be like super offensive? Like, what is it you want? You think is
maybe going that hard, he would have gotten him demonetized, huh?
he implying that we're hiding something? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
That you can see all of the jokes that I was subjected to that didn't even make it into the final cut. After the episode,
I thought it was live to 50,000 people.
In the days following, I posted.
Here's the one he went and erased and then made this video about it.
On the subreddit, thanking the host and the crew for having me on because I wanted to focus on the positives, which was that the audience.
Dude, the way he's trying to spin this is so fucking pathetic. It's like, I had such a terrible experience, and then I immediately asked to go back on. And then I went to the subreddit and thanked everybody in the community. But it's just because I wanted to put a positive spin on it. It's like, shut up, dude. How much support did this video get?
This TikTok?
Yeah.
Let me find it.
Did you link me his original one?
Yes.
I'll get that one.
Yeah, if I win any money, I'll donate it to a little people activism group.
Let's see.
I want to find the original TikTok just to see how deranged the comments are.
He on the second one, the follow up, he has 250K views.
Nice. So he's farming in a second time.
Oh, round two.
Oh, I liked it on accident. Let's see. That podcast was how I found you. They tanked, you rose. Wait, so you watched that and you still are? I guess even as an audience member, you don't see the emails and stuff.
Right.
H3 sucks.
Oh, look at that comment. They didn't even tell you. That's crazy. Yeah, that would. Be crazy.
That would be crazy. Except that's the lie. It didn't happen at all.
They didn't even tell you. That's crazy. 1,300 likes. Them treating you like a prop is so awful. I am so sorry.
It is crazy. It just all it takes is saying something, and 1,300 people will like that comment. Yep, that's the truth right there.
Sorry, 6,000 likes. Please stop supporting H3 entirely. And he's now my name is a slur apparently. And Ethan Klein.
Oh
shit.
Ethan
Yo, you're
Klein.
just phobic, dude. This is a new one.
Wait, what's phobic?
You're just generally a fearful guy.
You're really I'm afraid.
scared.
I'm a
He's
Zionist.
a coward.
I'm a phobic, a certified crash out, not to mention unfunny, even though I was a fan for 5 years.
I watched and was a member for 8 years, but he's not funny.
I never thought he was funny, actually. Yeah. His wife was an IOF too and is a Palestine G-slide denier. G-slide? Genocide?
Yeah.
Why do you write
What
it like
the
that?
fuck are you
Just say
writing,
what you
dude?
mean. Like,
Yeah.
are you talking about something as serious as genocide and you're going to write it that fucking silly? Like, you're a pathetic loser.
I've never seen that with a watermelon. Well, odd choice.
Blur it.
I cannot imagine being in that moment. I'm glad you had such grace because I read that one.
Yep.
This is such a terrible thing to do. People seriously lack empathy. This guy, for sure, never watched this video. This guy's lying. Dude, I thought this exact thing when I watched the episode. What are you talking about, bro? You speaking out that you felt just as uncomfortable really solidified it for me. I'm done with H3. I thought you were in on it. Okay. Well, he was in on it. Yeah.
Right.
So I guess if you missed that.
Yeah.
Don't let Ethan intimidate you. Your story's important, and I'm grateful for you sharing it. I stopped watching them forever ago because how they treat other people in the name of humor. I'm sorry.
No.
Oh my
Yeah, there's a lot of really good people in the comments. Good for them.
God. You should have sued them. Can you sue that? Can you sue for that? You should have sued them. Can you sue for that?
Oh, he replied.
He responded, no, that's not something you sue over, but lol at the sentiment. Well, it turns out
Might not be
what you're doing is.
He's
like-
stronger
like-
at that sentiment.
Yeah, he's like, don't say that word.
Yeah.
Man,
I sent a comment he responded to on the second video.
I can't believe what a fucking asshole he is. What a liar. Dude, like you didn't have to make that video, you know?
Yeah.
You just didn't.
Hi everyone, I'm gonna
Here's his explanation video where he continues to lie. Ethan is crashing out. Sorry you have to fall victim to Ethan Klein IG story, dude. You rock. Ethan Klein is a full adult who says horrendous things and people treat him like he's a toddler that needs to be coddled.
I'm so sick. Wait, hold on. What did that say?
I'm so
Please
sick
put
of
that back up.
interpersonal relationships. I think they meant parasocial. These people
Interpersonal, that would just be relationships with other people. It's just so sick of them.
are actually so dumb.
Some of the dumbest people on the fucking face of the earth. They really are.
U.S. funding atrocities is their name.
Okay. I mean,
They're all the same people. It's like the same, like anti-American.
yeah.
Like their whole identity is like just about hating Israel.
Just a tribe. Just another tribe.
There is no timeline for when you're allowed to feel uncomfortable by a situation. Well, they're doing this thing where they're like, I can decide. I looked back and I was offended by it anytime I want, and you can never take it away from me. It's like, well, we can, because we've got all the fucking communications. What he says?
Yeah, I mean, we can't take away how you say you feel, but can show how utterly ridiculous it would be if that was actually your perception, to the point where obviously you're just lying. There's no other explanation.
I emailed them right after we filmed the first time and expressed it felt awkward for all of us. I was very transparent with them.
No, you said it was awkward, or you apologized for it being awkward, but
we apologize.
He says, I hope these are part of the receipts Ethan is referencing. Oh my God.
Yeah, they are. And they were.
They were.
Yeah, that's really lame to use that, just a hint of the truth there. So you email them right after expressing it felt awkward for all of us. I mean, yeah, you did say that, but it was something along the lines of, I know it might have been awkward for all of us at points, but it was great. That was what he was saying. That was very transparent. The gall on this guy.
This is so valid. I almost never realized how uncomfortable I am by a situation until days later, sometimes longer. Yeah, he waited days. He has to come on. He continued to interact, and
I mean, again, if it was that bad, it was totally an option to just not. This was not a live episode. Like,
Fawn is a valid trauma response, just like freeze or fight. You're not wrong for going with it and trying to, I don't know, make the best of it or something. Okay, is there? I mean, I don't know if there's any real science to fight or flight, but are they just are we are just making these up as people on the internet? We're just adding that that's a like an actual biological response to danger. Maybe it is, but I get the impression we decided as commenters on the internet that is.
It was totally an option to just not. This was not a live episode. Like, I don't know what this dude's thinking.
Yeah, we were just all under the impression that you really wanted to do this. Not to say that jumping into a conversation with Jimmy about ableism is ever the right thing to do. Like, that's a very difficult situation. But we were all under the impression that that's what you wanted to do because that's what you told us. So what else could we have done?
I like how he impugns all you guys too. The Kuru was all laughing at me.
We were not, yeah.
Nobody's
just such a
laughing at you,
joke.
bro.
He knows that though. I heard
it
Ethan
makes me
Klein
so
and knew
sad.
everything I needed to know. Perfect excerpt for a lawsuit.
Oh, that's funny. That's also very similar to what that Mika girl said. She said it wasn't about Ethan, but she said anytime I disagree with Nicholas Diorio, I know I'm on the right track or something like that. It's just, how is that actually how you're going to analyze anything? Just straight up guilt by association. No other thoughts needed.
His response was so embarrassing. What, the Instagram? I don't know how an adult with any sense of media presence could have thought that post would make him look like anything other than spiraling sad sack. Well, you should try watching the fucking evidence. Oh man, do you see that? These are the people he's tapping into. It's like there's a whole fucking community on TikTok and Twitter of people that are just they're obsessed with Israel and the war that's happening. It's like their whole fucking identity. And somehow I get wrapped up into being like the poster child for Israeli war crimes.
The people obsessed with it, they're everywhere. They have seeped into every internet space there is, it seems like.
Yep.
Fuck. Anyway, so that's Aubrey. I can go on and on about him, but it's just really disappointing. And I mean, what an asshole. And it's so easy to just lie. Like, no matter what I say, no matter how much I disprove everything and show him as an obvious liar and a cloud chaser, nothing is going to undo what he did. Like, nothing can stand up to that. The people that watched that and took it in are not going to want to listen to anything I have to say. Like, there's 0% chance of doing anything. I mean, maybe just...
That's probably true, but I also think the people that just took that as is were the type of people who were never going to like Ethan anyway. So, I mean, I don't know that anything of real value was lost there.
Going on your platform and lying, saying that I lied.
You could take it back, you know, and apologize. That would go some distance towards that, right?
That would go a long distance. I would forgive him if he did that. I would have respect if he did that. But nobody ever does that, honestly. Because you don't need to apologize to a Nazi, Dan.
Right. I forgot.
So what do you guys think about that one, huh? So that's how I started my break.
Yeah, fantastic.
Very good. Very good.
By the way, I love the censoring of my name now as a slur.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm
awesome.
changing your name in my phone to look like that. Censored.
I also just like using phobic as an insult. That rules.
Yeah, you're phobic,
He's generally very phobic.
He's phobic.
Also,
yeah, there are so many phobics now. You just save a lot of time saying phobic.
works.
Honestly, part of what motivates me to finish this video I'm working on is all these people. I can't wait to see how angry they are about it. I can't wait.
All right, this is the Hassan video. I'm pretty sure he's talking about here.
They're gonna be so angry. Oh God, they're gonna be so angry. It's gonna be so good. Yeah, man. Oh, so
Oh, and look at this. The garbage is still here. That entire hour-long segment. I mean, he was eating it for part of that, but that entire time, the garbage. Unprofessional.
I'm working hard on it. I really want you guys to see it. You know.
You're cooking.
So anyway, that was part one of haters. And then this other girls, if you can believe.
So then he's moving on. Yeah, there you go. I thought that was entertaining. That kind of makes me want to watch the full Micah's Rhetoric segment because that was pretty entertaining. But well, hopefully you enjoyed Ethan Klein continuing to abuse a poor little person entirely unprovoked and destroying their lives for no good reason.